Hi, Gene Burnett from GeneBurnett.com. Hey, I thought today we'd talk a little bit about the wrists and the hands and the value of relaxing and softening your hands. Our hands are so important in life, and they have to take many shapes and they have to adapt to many things, and I think it's very good to have relaxed hands. I mean, you can always strengthen and squeeze and tighten, put tension in your hands, but relaxing them is not always easy. So some really simple exercises you can do to relax your hands. One is just doing this exercise here, like your hands are like a paintbrush. You're doing that basic motion. And of course, I recommend sitting into your legs here and using your legs to help. So your legs help you up, and gravity and the spring in your legs help you down. So we're trying to keep our space here. We don't want to twist the knees at all. So you can keep your feet parallel, knees over your feet but not going past your feet. A little bit of space here, really important, crease right here. Let your spine lengthen a little bit and rise here, sink here. And just really relax your wrists so that it's not so much your forearm muscles that are moving your hands, you let the leg help. See, that provides some upward momentum, and then you just amplify that with a little tiny bit of work in your forearms, just a little bit, but really you're getting help from the rest of your body there. Then you can go from the vertical paintbrush idea to side to side. So this is one way to do it. You can go like this, but that's a little trickier and involves a little more shoulders. If you have one toward, one towards you and one away, so you're still doing the paintbrush, right? You're just doing the back of one and then the back of the other like that. Right? So you have and again, I'm using my weight shift back and forth to help. I'm just trying to relax and let that be as soft as I can. So you have vertical here, then you have horizontal, horizontal there, yeah, like that. And then a little more tricky is to draw circles. The reason it's a little tricky is that when you start to turn your waist here and let your waist help these circles, you can start twisting your knees again. So a simple rule is whichever elbow is heading towards the space behind you, the opposite knee has to push out a little bit so it doesn't cave in. So if you're drawing the circles, they can be small, like right here, and you're trying to steer that with your waist, not your hips so much. It's not that. There. So you can do it small. You can do one going in and the other going in the opposite way, like that. Down, up, or you can both go the same way, or you can both go the same way that way. Some people like to get into very complicated yin-yang patterns and figure eights and stuff, and that's all good too. You can spell the alphabet as long as you're doing it with your body, not just with local strength moving your hand around. So you're trying to move your hands with your body. You can do different shapes, you can circle around, you can go up and down, you can do all kinds of stuff. Once your wrist really softens and loosens, then you can add that to your Tai Chi. It could be like one of the ripples. We work a lot in our style with this sort of ripple of power or kinetic chain or momentum transfer from one joint to the other. So regardless of what the movement is, there's going to be a little bit of a shoulder circle, a little bit of an elbow circle, and a little bit of a wrist circle. So your movements can be a little more relaxed, and you can put a little more, have a little more of that wrist kind of ripple in the movements that you do. When it comes to application, things like slaps. So here's me with a stiff wrist. Now here's me with a soft wrist. Big difference, right? It really has some power. One thing you can do is just slap your own hand and just work on absorbing that pressure. Back fists, you have that little ripple right there. Short, sharp back fist like that, or the big one. You've got that in there. Even a forward one can have a little bit of a snap at the end. If the wrist is relaxed, it comes in soft and then you grab it. Which brings me to another point, and this wrist circle is part of that. is by softening your wrist. And my teacher Andy Dale always used to say that every time he got a new level of softness into his Tai Chi, it always started in his wrists. He would feel this new softness in the wrists, and then he'd feel that moving into his elbows, and that would remind him, oh, to soften the shoulders more, and that would soften the chest more, and that softens the belly, and then you can sit your weight into your legs, and then it pours into your thighs and down into the ground. So work up here can connect all the way down to your feet, so you feel like from your feet to your hand, it's just one smooth ripple. But another point that's important, and that is kind of overlooked, if you think of that kinetic chain like working from your foot up through your leg, up through your spine, and out through your hands, if you thought of it like a train moving through a tunnel, and the momentum is transferring joint to joint and moving out, it's easy to think of the train itself, this yang energy of the train moving through, as the main thing, and you can kind of get tense. A train going through a tunnel depends on the air that's in the tunnel exiting the other end of the tunnel. So if you put a valve around the surface of a tunnel and a train went into there and the valve sealed it as it went in like this, and there was no way for the train no air at the other end of the tunnel, then that train couldn't move. It would compress the air and then it would stop. For the train to move through, there needs to be air going out the tunnel, either behind it or forward or both. So same with your body. For this yang energy to surge up and go through your body, there needs to be yin, relaxation, ahead of it. So you have to be relaxed ahead of that energy so that when it moves through, it can go through freely without obstruction. So there's a sort of a yin ahead of the yang, and that comes from relaxing and softening. So if you take your movements at the end of each movement and soften and totally relax and let everything go, you're reminding your body there's an empty state ahead of the power. So the power moves through, yes, but ahead of it there's an emptying of yin energy. And when you finish, boom, you're back to neutral, empty again. So ideally, after your punch, you would not be holding on to it. It would be, you'd be relaxed, and it would just go through you like the air out of the tunnel. So in order to feel that surge going through you, and at the same time a corresponding yin emptiness ahead of that energy, it's really, really helpful to relax and soften your wrists. And this is a really simple way to do it. These simple back and forth movements, that's the one I get mixed up, back and forth, drawing circles, drawing different shapes. But remember, don't twist your knees, and let your legs and your waist help. It's always your legs and your waist that are moving the hand. It's never the hand just moving the hand. No matter how beautiful you move the hand with the hand, like I'll see how smooth and relaxed I can possibly do it with just my wrist. That's about as good as I can do it. But as soon as I start moving everything else, look at the difference. I mean, it just gets so much more relaxed and smooth and comfortable. And because I'm not working, what you're seeing is the work is down here, the work is elsewhere. So if you do that, you can get out of your way, things can flow through your body a lot more clearly, you can adapt to things, catch things, use all kinds of your hands in all kinds of ways, martial and otherwise, that you can't do if your hands are claws. So if you like this sort of thing, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I post a lot of Tai Chi music videos, nature videos, the occasional stab at weird humor and stuff. And of course you can always visit GeneBurnett.com. If you go to my site, I have a link called Videos, and if you click on that link, you'll get some blogs that I've set up to make my videos a lot easier to navigate. I have a blog with all my Tai Chi videos embedded. I have a blog with all my nature videos. I have a blog with all my music videos. It makes them much, much easier to figure out than all these playlists down there. So thanks for watching again. I appreciate it. And be soft, practice, let your wrists go soft.